Oh, hi everyone. Yeah, I know powering up in this outfit's a little bit much, especially when I'm not in the middle of a fight. But I think this is kind of a special occasion. And right now I'm trying to contact someone else, because I feel this is special enough that it needs more than just my own opinion.
Oh, hey, Mad Matt.
Ah, I see I got a hold of you.
Why didn't you tell me that you hacked into my on-firewall camera feed that I use for these crossovers?
Hacking? Not particularly, no. Just your typical communication device inside of a cell phone. So, I wanted to talk about, Kamen Rider. So how about you start off with how you got into Tokusatsu?
I didn't know it, but from the early 90s on, I was a huge Tokusatsu fan. Even before Jason's son became a huge fan of Showa-era Godzilla movies, Power Rangers dominated my social life. Years later, I learned that Mighty Morphin Power Rangers was adapted from Kyoryu Sentai's Zyuranger. It was a passing curiosity to me, the sort of thing you might want to check out at some time in the future, but don't anticipate anything new enough to really expend any energy watching it. After watching several videos by Ju Wario, Psychotaku, and Mars Girl on the topic, my interest in Super Sentai started to wax. But I also started to have less and less time to start watching long-running series, so I let Easy Rider's Toku Time fulfill my Sentai and Power Rangers fix. It was here that I learned a little bit about Kamen Rider, something that those of us in America had a less than epic introduction to.
Ecto Phase, activate!
Oh, you had to bring that up? Really? That's a painful memory, folks. Let's just say that the creator of Kamen Rider was still around when that happened, and he pretty much vowed that no one would ever touch Kamen Rider unless they specifically got his say-so on the matter.
If Super Sentai, the forerunners to Power Rangers, were Japan's answer to the Justice League, then Kamen Rider is their answer to Superman and Batman. Or, judging by the 2 episodes we're watching today, Spider-Man and Batman.
I myself also started Power Rangers, although I did recall seeing an episode or 2 of Ultraman back when I was about 10 or 6 years old, somewhere in that area. So, when my friends were getting into Kamen Rider, the newer stuff, back in like 2005, I decided I would go back and have a look at what this Ultraman thing is, because it looked familiar to me. To which I now have a complete first series. I am collecting the subtitled version of Ultra 7, and I also have a couple of extra movies on the side waiting for review. Enough about Ultraman being the oldest tokusatsu. Let's have a look at Kamen Rider, shall we?
For an extremely simplistic opening theme, this is also extremely catchy. Kamen Rider versus a mysterious Spider-Man? What, are we going the Urch Dev Adam route? I hope El Santo is in this one.
Our show starts off with our hero, originally named Hongo.
I know, because smart people never have other interests. It's not like somebody could be both a racer and a PhD at different points in their life, right? Oh, right. They must be an evil organization. They show up, chase the protagonist, raise his suspicions, and disappear, leaving him intent on hunting them down. Actually, I want to give Shocker props. Their move seems extremely cliche and dumb, but Shocker was relying on that. They were leading Hongo into it.
Yeah, it does seem kind of convoluted, but it still kind of works because he still fell for their trap.
You must have an IQ of 600. Never mind that somebody with that kind of brain power likely would find a way out of any trap a human with an IQ under 200 could provide. Or that you'd likely have all sorts of telekinetic and psionic abilities that we can't even fathom.
Meanwhile, they're about ready to scramble his brains when the power suddenly cuts out. I'm sorry, folks, I gotta take this thing off. Ugh. Kamen Rider is not what it's all cracked up to be. Anyway, Hongo's about ready to make his escape when he meets the professor. The two of them then escape together, only to be temporarily caught by the Spider-Man. Yes, silly, isn't it? But he gives a quick battle and then runs off with the professor again. Once they've made sure they're escaped, they contact the professor's daughter and have her meet them at a warehouse. However, while she's coming to meet the professor, she accidentally gives off their position, and the Spider-Man is soon there to try and attack the professor and kill him.
Not only does that not answer the question at all, you just brought on an emo moment so that the monster of the week can have plot convenience and visibility power.
Yeah, dialogue gets weird like that sometimes. Anyway, the Spider-Man attacks with his webbing, apparently. And just when Hongo and the professor's daughter are going to try and save him, suddenly the Spider-Man tries this dart attack, which he's used a couple of times. Hongo, knowing what he's about to do, pushes the both of them aside quickly, but, however, the professor's hit.
I just watched his body dissolve into nothingness in front of my eyes. Of course I think that you killed him.
Yeah, that never made sense to me either. She kinda seems either really shocked at everything, or she's a complete and total idiot.
We will destroy you with the power of freaky editing. I can't get up the wall. Maybe Photoshop will help me.
Another quick battle, and Kamen Rider finally saves the day, although not being able to prove himself to the professor's daughter.
First Spider-Man, now Batman. Who's he gonna fight in episode 3? The X-Men?
Yes, Spider-Man and Batman. And actually, no, the next episode is not X-Men, it's actually Scorpion Man. I just said that. Anyways, this female that we start up on is not really important except for just starting off the story. She is the first subject for Batman's new virus, to which the virus slightly mutates the color of one's skin. It allows them to grow fangs, and also puts them under his mind control. With her in this state, she tries to go after Hongo while he's out of the Kamen Rider form and just won a race. And the fight breaks out.
Nobody questions her growing fangs and attacking him, because that happens all the time.
A little bit later on, he comes back to the woman's apartment building to try to figure out what's going on, only to be jumped by Batman and an army of these people being transformed by the virus. Apparently he's taking over almost the entire apartment complex.
You'd think a man with a 600 IQ would be able to come up with something other than wait for bad things to happen.
We also see that the professor's daughter is still trailing after Hongo, despite the fact that he is definitely and almost obviously not the killer. However, Ruriko follows Hongo into the apartment complex and accidentally knocks out Tachibana, Hongo's friend and biking mentor. Ruriko, looking for any easy way to blame everything on Hongo, believes a Batman in disguise and gets bit and transmuted with the virus. She then hears the voice of the Shocker leader, to which she finally figures out that Hongo has never been to blame in the first place. But in order to save Ruriko and all the other people in the apartment complex, Hongo says he would join Shocker as long as he figures out that there's a way to stop the virus, to which Batman shows off as his claws. Battle once more ensues, and Hongo takes the claws for himself. He then heals everyone in the apartment complex, including Ruriko, and then rides off into the sunset. Ruriko and Tachibana will be continuing on as regular characters throughout the rest of the series, at least until version 3 of Kamen Rider comes out.
Ruriko-san, yokatta.
These aren't the most epic fight scenes I've ever seen, but for 1971 television shows, they're positively awesome. In all seriousness, the effects used in Kamen Rider might not have aged very well, but for 1971, I can't really fault them. They help create a psychedelic atmosphere that doesn't quite match anything else I've ever watched, which to me is a feat greater than any successful, unmemorable effects could ever pull off, and something that would keep me coming back every week if I saw it on my TV.
Despite its age and the very silly special effects, I think it's still a fairly well done and very memorable show. The silliness of the special effects, despite being somewhat unrealistic in a lot of places, it's still very memorable, and compared to a lot of other things, yes, that's actually kind of a good thing. There are much worse things than original Kamen Rider out there that have aged far worse. Although Ultraman is not aged quite as much as Kamen Rider in looks per se, they're still very much in the same kind of camp valley, if you will. So, to be honest, to me, Kamen Rider is just as good as Ultraman. The more the better. Alright, glad you enjoyed it too. I'll catch you all later, and I'll see you all next time on the show. See you then. Henshin!
初夏地獄の軍団我らを狙う黒い影世界の平和を守るため Go! Go! Let's go! 輝くマシンライダーライダーキック仮面ライダー仮面ライダーライダー